Welcome back. You know, it's always something with this truck. I wasn't really going to film anything, but I did make mention of this magic little funnel. So I was going to, show you what I've done for oil changes. But as luck would have it, after changing the cats, truck was fine, running great, getting about another mile per gallon on gas. Power was much better, and then all of a sudden that dropped, and I threw engine code. I think it was bank 2 O2 sensor. So went online, looked around, and a lot of people said, hey, if you've just changed out the cats, better check the connection downstream, to make sure you don't have an exhaust leak. And that's exactly what it sounded like, exhaust leak. And went under there, and yep, sure enough, not only was it an exhaust leak, I lost one of the bolts, and the other one was about finger tight. So that's the driver's side, and you've got at least 2 of those rubber dampeners, so kind of makes sense. I'm pretty sure I cranked them all down, but this time, yeah, I got the torque wrench out and made sure not only high strength thread locker, torqued them down, then also put a lock washer on the other side, and a bolt, so they're not going anywhere. I was really hoping it was that and not that the heat wrap, had cracked like the manifold or something. But I'm going to do the oil change, let it get up to temperature, and then I'm gonna do the relearn or the reset, pull the mass airflow, and then go from there, take a trip out the state line for lotto tickets, and see how the truck does. So because otherwise, it's getting kind of old. I've got this one's got a e-gear pump problem. This one, well, I don't drive it. The bike, I've got to sync the carburetors on. The Nash is overheating and having some problems with the fuel, but I'm just going to rewire up the electric fuel pump. I have a Edelbrock with a new regulator, and then the freaking Corvette. Last night, I think we were out for fireworks, and there was like this huge sucking sound, and it wasn't either one of us, but the little PVC actuator was stuck, and it was like stuck open, so it was venting out, and it was just making all kinds of noise. So I got to see if I have to like lubricate that or just replace it. Edelbrock has it online for only like 17 bucks. Back to this friggin' thing. So otherwise everything else has been pretty good. The wrap is fine, no problems on rubbing or anything, although I did see this little spot right there, so no big deal. And like I said, I got underneath, fixed that leak. Actually, I should probably pop over there real fast and show you what I was talking about. And then I'm going to get the oil changed out, and I'll pull the actual filter and start draining it, but then I'll show you where this goes. So again, I got this at, I believe it was Pep Boys, and this thing is absolutely phenomenal, at least for this car. So just put this up inside. This goes underneath the filter, which I'll show you. That goes under the filter and just sits up in there, so hardly anything drips down onto that tray, goes right down into the pan. You don't have that whole mess. I know some people probably don't care, but kind of really pissed me off. Anyway, well, stay tuned. Once I get this all set up, I'll show you where that goes. Well, while I got the camera out, I might as well show you. So there's the cats and the wrap, and there's the section that was leaking, and you can see where I put the new bolts on there. Those are grade 8 with high strength thread locker. And what happens is you get that exhaust leak right there, and then this back O2 sensor picks that up, and man, it just jacks with your air fuel pretty bad. So I wasn't able to get the totals, but yeah, it was not good. So anyway, that's that. But let's get the oil changed and get that little funnel in there, and and get this thing back on the road. I probably need to put the tire back on first. Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea. Stay tuned. Okay, so once you take this little plate off, what I do is I take this funnel and I take this part, I cram it up underneath that little drip line that they have, and put this part up here, and then stick that right like that. And oil does not go really anywhere else, just comes out here, drips down into the drip tray, and barely have anything to wipe up when I'm done. So pick yourself up one of these, or at least something that's shaped like it. You know, hope it helps somebody. It's made a huge difference. I mean, you can see like this has got no oil. Otherwise, as I've said before, I don't know what Nissan's design was on that, or at least they should have made that drip tray come down in front of this torsion bar, you know, so it had someplace for the oil to go. Otherwise, it kind of just drips off that tray, and then it goes behind it, drips all over this, drips onto this pan. It doesn't have a hole or a drip hole or anything, so I mean, it just ends up going all back onto your skid plates and everything. It's just I don't know, stupid design. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, hope it helped. Like, subscribe, you know, all that stuff, and see you on the next one. Thanks. Oh, and by the way, you don't need to take the wheel off to do the oil change. I was in here taking a look at the exhaust wrap, and also trying to find if there was an exhaust leak on that catalytic converter on this side, which there wasn't. But I figured I will leave the wheel off while I'm doing the oil change, because look how easy it is to get at the filter. And this also gives you a better idea of what that funnel actually looks like. So enjoy.